child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Welcome back to Meet the Candidates. We are here with our mayor, Mayor Walling, and we are going to continue our interview on why you should vote for him again as our mayor. Mayor, we are losing a lot of our young adults and our young talent in our city to bigger and more alluring cities. What do you plan to do to make sure that we retain them after their graduation, whether it be from high school or from college? How can we keep a hold of the youth and the talent that we have here?
This is our economic development challenge because my whole life this community has been struggling to diversify its economy, to attract creative companies, but also to grow the companies that are already here. You know, this isn't just about young people and talent, it's about our entire economy.
Right.
And creating an economy that has opportunities for all people, has jobs for people with all kinds of different skill levels. So what you've seen in my economic development approach is to invest in organizations all across the city. We've got the new Department of Human Services building going up at Clio Road and Pearson Road.
Right.
We're renovating the Oak Business Center on North Saginaw. We attracted Diplomat Specialty Pharmacy into the city at the Great Lakes Medical Technology Center Plaza. They've hired more than 100 new employees just this calendar year, and there's a lot more to come. So that's the kind of economy we have to have. We have to have construction jobs. We have to have a place for small businesses to go. We have to attract those larger companies that can draw other businesses around them. We've got to go beyond manufacturing, as important as that is to this community, get into healthcare, get into alternative energy. We've made progress in all those areas, but it's a slow recovery coming out of this recession. There's no doubt about that, but we're going in the right direction. It's just going to take some time.
We see the developments going on downtown and other areas in our city. How will you promote these developments to other cities, other businesses outside of our area to attract them as well as tourists and new residents to our city to boost our economy?
Right, and again, this is another one of those challenges that our cities just face, you know, year after year, how we're perceived by the rest of the country. And I can tell you that the state of Michigan has a lot of those same challenges.
Exactly.
You know, I serve on the 20-member executive committee for the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. I'm the only elected official in that body. And the Pure Michigan campaign has done, you know, amazing outreach to the rest of the country for our state.
Right.
We have to have a similar effort here. Our universities, the Regional Chamber of Commerce, they're talking about how we do some joint marketing. The city doesn't have the money to do that kind of marketing, so we can be at the table to help share those good news stories. You know, personally, I use my Facebook, I use my Twitter. There are a lot of people following what's happening in Flint from all over the place. And we focus on the positive developments. And then just with my own relationships, you know, working with the staff at the White House. I was recently a part of the roundtable at the Environmental Protection Agency's Brownfield Conference. I was one of their featured mayors in a roundtable. So I'm out there personally talking about the opportunities in this city, asking people to, you know, get past you know, judging the book by its cover and really get to know who we are as a community, the kind of people who are here, the spirit that we have, and recognize that there's a lot more to our community than the negative kind of criticisms and attacks that so many people want to level against us all the time.
Yeah, this is true. Do you support public access television? And if you do, would you fight to make sure that our studio and other services return to our city?
We would like to do that. You know, it's obviously been a complicated legal environment with Comcast. We do have some equipment that's been acquired by or granted to the city as part of a legal settlement. There's a small fund that's available that we need to decide with City Council on what we can do with that to make it publicly accessible to the entire community. But I've been an advocate for, you know, both the City Council and my office having the ability to communicate with the public, because not everything can be filtered by the mainstream media. We have to have some outlets where you hear directly from your elected officials, and I'm very committed to that, both in terms of budget, and I've taken some criticism for that. Some have said, well, why do you need a communications director? Why is the city focused on those activities? And the fact is, so many people get their information from the media. If we don't work to provide that to you, then you're just going to get a whole big confusing mix
Right.
of information. It's going to have its own media spin. So
Okay.
we've worked really hard to provide that honest information. I think public access is a big part of that, and
Okay.
we'll continue to support City Council having their sessions taped and looking for some resources for us to do more through the mayor's office to get the word out to the community about what's really going on.
Okay. Just a couple of weeks ago, Councilman Neely had suggested that we use these funds from the Comcast settlement to donate them, well, use them for our youth and teach them how to get into media and broadcasting and other ideas. Ultimately, his idea was shot down, last I heard. However, what would be your idea to make sure that these funds are used and appropriated in the correct manner to continue with public access? What ideas do you have to do that?
Right. But what I've talked to Councilman Neely about in the past is something that fulfills part of his vision, but also takes advantage of what we already have at City Hall.
Right.
My concern with those dollars going exclusively to a community organization is that's not sustainable,
Okay,
because those dollars are going to go away.
Right.
Again, I mean, this is what happens with grants. We don't want this to be a one-time fix.
Right.
I've suggested that we have a public access office at City Hall
Right.
available to the community and also to all of our area elected officials,
Okay.
and that we also have satellite community connections where we provide updated technology. I mean, what we have granted to us from Comcast, most of it is outdated. It's very large. It's not easy to use. It's not the digital format that today's professionals are using or that we should be training our youth on. For a few $1,000s per community site, we could get a small camera set up, a light kit, a laptop to do some basic editing, and then that could be a partnership between City Hall and the community, and not just one organization, because I don't think we should pick winners and losers.
Right,
I think
right.
there should be a few different community partners that are part of our public access network. So that's my vision. It's going to take City Council support to realize it, so we'll see where it goes.
Okay, what is your envision concerning our community centers and our parks and recreation, understanding the difficult challenges that are facing, especially the parks and recreation? What do you suggest we do there?
Well, it's all about partnerships. We've got in place the first official Adopt a Park program. Our unions had to sign off on that work so that it could be done legally. A lot of people have a lot of crazy ideas, but if you do things wrong in government, then we get the lawsuits, and
Right.
we've seen that in the past.
Right.
Those bills run up, you end up paying double, triple what you would have done just to do it the other way.
Right.
So we've got 11 parks right now citywide that have been adopted by community organizations.
Okay.
We've got a number of our parks being mowed by contractors because they can do it more economically competitive than our own workers. With our centers, you're starting to see some real investments taking place there. We're using community development block grant money so that we can improve the Haskell Center. There's a brand new floor in at that basketball
Right.
gym that's going to really be amazing when it gets done. We're going to make some improvements at Burston and use the Police Activities League so that we're not just offering open gym,
Right.
but we're offering real enrichment to our
Okay.
youth. And
That's good.
and it's going to make a difference.
Yeah.
What's happening at Haskell with the partnerships with the Boys and Girls Club is just amazing. There's a free summer camp this summer. 100 kids are coming in and out every day, getting
Yeah.
nutritious food. They're getting educational enrichment, plus they're getting all the exposure to the sports
Right,
through
right.
the Police Activities League. So
That they love so much.
they do. That's what brings them in.
Right.
But that area, if you look at it, the school's closed. There's just not much within walking distance. And
Right.
those chains held the door closed when I was elected mayor at Haskell
Right.
Center, and I said it was going to be open, and it's open and it's flourishing. So there's more to come at our other centers, primarily through the Community Development Block Grant Program.
Okay. How do you plan to continue to turn our city, as they call, green, and to make sure that our city is being energy efficient? I was at a council meeting a couple weeks ago, and someone suggested that we take out half the light bulbs that are in the room just to cut down costs, which was interesting. I'll say, I must admit. But what would you suggest that we do to make sure that our city maintains its or increases its ability to be energy efficient?
We have an energy strategy in place that can save us hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. It involves some automation of City Hall, some new technologies in street lights to save costs there, going with some alternative energy providers. So each of these just has to be implemented. You know, it's step by step. It's also creating a business climate where we welcome, you know, the green tech companies that President Obama has been touting, that we really welcome those innovative businesses that are working around alternative energy. You know, what we knew in the 20th century, it's just not going to hold in the 21st century. It's going to be an entirely different energy economy, and we have to be a part of that. So some of it is saving money at City Hall, but a lot of this is getting our businesses involved in alternative energy activities, product development, where we're taking a look with our Downtown Development Authority at a partnership with Mid-Michigan Solar, which is a Flint-based company, and you may see some solar panels in the parking areas of downtown to help cut down some bills there. But it also helps a local company. So that's my message: is we got to save money, but we've got to do this with our companies and really boost our economy at the same time. Okay,
that was our time with Mayor Walling. Please log on. I said it wrong last time, but please log on to spectacleproductions.com. Spectacleproductions.com. I'm just testing it. It's spectacleproductions.com to review and get more information. Thank you.
How do you make an apple more user-friendly?
How do you make an apple more user-friendly?
How do you make an apple more user-friendly?
You can't. How do you make a user more apple-friendly? The Flint Apple Club.
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 Honestly, dude, I did the most shocking thing today. It was just something I never thought I'd do.
Did your parents find out?
My mom cried.
What'd you do?
Look at this guy. What are you gonna do, kid? Go home. It's hopeless. Yeah, dude, do something with your life. Leave. You're looking stupid, man. Give it up.
Underneath everything we are all people. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.